Welcome to Poetry Palace TV. I am Tom Beal, and this is my Diary of a Poet series, episode 23. The intent of the show is to read volume 18, Internal Revolutions, poems I've been writing to my late wife since February of 2020. Unfortunately, I have not yet been able to read them in a composed manner. It was suggested that I simply start from the beginning so that I may get used to the idea slowly and add a bit more time to my process before actually trying to read those poems to you. If you would like to read along at another pace, the series is available for free to read at poetrypalacegiftshop.com. The producer of this show, as well as other fans, believe the verse in her volume is quite helpful for those who have lost a spouse. And if you know someone who you feel might be helped, please suggest they check it out. In this episode, I believe we are continuing with volume 14, Pen Painter, which is something I made up way back at the beginning, and that's my email at AOL.com still. Number 1044, Sitting. Watching the cursor mark blink on a screen made without ink, wondering what words will come through, if I can give the poet its due. A stenographer in Muse's court, awaiting a verdict neither heartless nor short, while invisible jurors combine in their chant of a deadlock between will not and can't, while the wiles and the wines of man frivolously faking a plan, like a master in his place to take, as the coals of his hell spark and bake. Turn the red of his raw into bland, and the skies of his dream into land. Yet the wing of a hope to be seen flies through the polluted air clean, as the whisper of latter day's girth simultaneously brings effortless birth. While some poet sits to electronic flash, amidst eons of mortalic ash, and wonders if today is the day the muse might just have its way. Number 1045. I am only here to spread soul shine into the darkness of the ambiguity of slave ship to the muse, tainting the unblemished disarray of intellectual grenades exploding onto page near and far within the lives of strangers, which share the ultimately intimate bond of the natural, mutual dipping of the quill of life into the bloodwell of eternity. Number 1046. Love, I am love now. Partake of me, I multiply. Number 1047. Important. It is funny how important things can be today, then how distant they can seem tomorrow. It's ironic, the lack of power in what we say, but how words echo rings with so much sorrow. Number 1048. Welcome. Let us say first thing, welcome to our home. Sit down, take off a load, a resting from your room. Can we get you something to drink or maybe a little snack? A stool for your tired feet or a pillow for your back. Tell us what you celebrate or anything you mourn. It won't go beyond these walls. To secrecy we're sworn. When you feel it's time to go, we'll gladly fare thee well. But do return another day, our hearts again to swell. Number 1049. I used to think spare time was a treasure. Even came up with ways to find more. When television was seen as an amusement, back in them old days of yore. But now in a moment relaxing, ideas are pictured and drawn. it would seem a new me is evolving, awake enough to see my own dawn. That lazy old sod had died easy. Or did it take decades of years? And what came of its fretting and moaning, of its teardrops and turmoil and fears? What a great midlife exclamation. Childhood glamour turned somehow to gore. Oh, how the misery of then would have melted had I known what its intentions were for. What could cause such astronomical misjudgment? What could make splendor in the making seem pain? What could be exponentially more ridiculous than the terror of going thoroughly sane? Number 1050, Love's Why. Sorry I have been so busy that my sewing has littered the house. It isn't a lack of interest or negligence being your spouse. You thought I should have a hobby. Probably meant pressing rose petals. Maybe a more manly action, whilst you bond with your pots and kettles. Apologetically, poetry is about as far as I can go. The baggage that I brought with me, literary ecstasy and throw. Unintentional curses wake might just wave through your moments goodbye. My office may be where and when, but your love remains the only why. Number 1051, Amusement. I see the many faces the muse assumes in ink. I visit the desolate places on the outskirts of its brink, sit through its honored graces, at times hoping for pink, and enjoy its leathery laces and the comfort of its mink. I walk its wordly paces, mid its guises of think, envision the papery spaces as I serve it its link. With rhyme like flowered vases, it pours without a blink the vistas and tormenting bases. In its havens do I sink. Lame, but for nuance braces, leap I into line's rink, bathed within its immortal traces. But its holy wine do I drink. Number 1052, Saturday in the park. Something tells me to write, not like a voice or a describable thing. So I return to the desktop and open the stuff folder, where works waits patiently for the dance of fingers, callous from construction, and the flippant meandering of a self-controlled mind. And the landlord comes to get me, to show me his project. And the wife comes to see of what she's been left out of. And supper is ready. And the plaques are all bubble wrapped. And she makes me a Coke and whiskey to go with her fuzzy navel, not above her belt buckle, as closely as one might think. While the Sams get ice colder, and the lines get a little bolder, even daring to rhyme in a world grown blasé, with the lettering of this keyboard is too blasé to hold. Of course, back to technology, in a little plastic box, attached to a keyboard and a printer and a scanner, a camera, and 100 million surfers who haven't seen salt since the turn of the millennium. Or maybe a decade or two beyond that. And a modern-day Starbucks where people drink engrams by the gallon, unwilling to forfeit the pleasure of thinking thoughts anew, while Elron rolls over on his billionaire contract and Buddha just smirks at the piety of Rome. And if one was a C, he might just use the F word, not like Edgar's flamboyant foreign languages, or Ernest tipsy in the cooler of a phantasmal rite. I sit here, a radio to the waves of conscious that slap at the beaches of an unstable mind and hold out a hand to lead the foresighted on a trip to the starboard, even though I am aware of being absolutely blind. Number 1053. Did I grow up right? Haven't touched a plaque in months, though I can see them out of the corner of my eye. Printer runs continuously as the words of many a poet slowly die. Technologies amaze me, though the high speed has not been experienced yet. Moments stolen with the wife just so she knows that busy does not mean forget. Too many trips for supplies, leaving me stumbling twixt reality and dream. Who'd have thunk that the future would represent past desire in such a gleam? Has every effort been spent so that the unknown can avoid the unforeseen? Has hope now been provided so that my then's fantasies of should-be are clean? Number 1054, the stillness of activity. Got a good start with a staple and fold, now a smaller pile and boxes of books. So the process is tediously old, but the collection is ready for looks. 29 volumes to the land of kilts in a brown wrapper through air on steel wing. Batches of poems raised by high cypress stilts. The same voices mentioned in a musing. In hours the dump truck will get to dust as tool time gets played down under the ground. The printer dancing its black and white must, while peace in the heart of scurry is found. Number 1055. Now and here. Sitting here in peaceful preponderance of the fire once flourishing within, the want of a wish for that writing is shadowed with simply a grin. Those pages of perfect, then practiced, as if the world without them would end. Tainted by times of the triple X tipping, boldly brandishing the belittling of bend. Heaping all helpful hints of the heathen atop the towering term of temporal temptation, while once want of wail of wanderlust became Quill's cry of concentric commiseration. Pickling the possibilities of practicality with possibly pride's most impoverishing play. Never mind now the nuanced Neanderthal. Did analog not distill into devotion this day? Number 1057. Must I move in blue? Fields of flowers, but I only pick weeds. Great intentions, but clouds rain on my deeds. Tell me something that might just budge the door. Show me seasons that sing for what is love is for. Tell me what can I do to keep walking with you and never find myself alone. Tell me what can I say to bring you back today. Let me see skies you've flown. Nobody cares but you and me, and time gets me doubting you. Can I hold on and set you free, find a love that is true? Or must I move in blue? One step forward, then rolling back down the hill. Life's river flows, seems I'm just watching still. Oh, the secret is something I must find. My heart's aching from all this running blind. Tell me what can I do to keep walking with you and never find myself alone? Tell me what can I say to bring you back today? Let me see the skies you've flown. Nobody cares but me and you, and time gets me doubting you. Can I hold on and set you free and find a love that's true? Or must I move in blue? Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Poetry Palace TV. I hope there was something that caught your ear. Please feel free to check out the website, and I hope to see you again next week. Adios.